Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Coppercoin's Coin Roll Hunt Reveal E268, a 2024P original wrapped roll. How's everybody doing today? See, we have Dan in the house. How you doing today, Dan? Get a couple more people in here and we'll get this show rolling. 2024P roll, kind of exciting. First one I've looked through this year. And I did finally see a picture of a double die that was an actual double die. I'm going to go ahead and start unwrapping this. Let everybody come in. Crispy, how you doing? Oh, nice. Found anything yet? I know a couple people that have went through rolls and not found anything. Hey, Doug. I like to do at least one from each mint. I think Chuck's going to be doing the 2024D coming up. Dave Coleman, welcome. Otis, how are you today? And we're going to get this going with Taco John. Whoa. Turn that baby down. The doubling we are looking for will be right usually along the back of the 2 and in the O of 2024, in the RTY of Liberty. Sometimes they can be cut up in different directions, like on a diagonal, and then one side will be thicker than the other. They are shiny. All right, Doug, cool. I think I actually got a coin from Dan in my post box right now. Now the one that the double die that I saw was actually on LB and JFM. Also, we can look through right here. There are some bar varieties that have been popping up. Coin number 2 for Sereg. Well, that stinks. What happened? Did it break down or? Little die crack in the head. Another die crack over the eye. Oh man, that's no good. I hope you let them know your displeasure. Not that they'll do anything. That gets corporate America now. They don't care about customers no more. Seems like that whole mantra, when I was young, seemed to be business's mantra, that, and I realize the customer can't always be right, but they really strive customer satisfaction. And they don't seem to do that too much anymore. which I believe is a mistake. But then again, they're the ones that got all the money, not us. Eric Math, welcome. Coin number 4 for Dave. You know, that's a good way to be, Dan. With any business. Like I said, I worked for Ford for years. And when I worked for them, that was their big deal. And I noticed even with them now, they're not real concerned with customer satisfaction. Where it used to be, well, it was in their motto, quality is job one, and all this other stuff they used to say. Now it just seems like the only people that they worry about is shareholders. Sacrifice, I mean, look at Boeing. Basically sacrifice the quality of an airplane and the safety of everybody who flies it so they make more money for their shareholders. And I guess that's all grand if you own a bunch of Boeing stock. Had my dog at the vet this morning, that poor thing. But I think we're finally getting some resolution to what's going on. But she had another urinary tract infection, so I've been at the vet all morning with her. But they say that they think it's from allergies, of all things. And that when she starts itching, she starts licking, and when she starts licking, she gets infections. I looked at that one video and I was like I said, I don't look real deep into it. I just filed it away with nonsense. Coin number 7 goes to Sissy. I don't search a lot of the Shield Sense, and I really struggle with it. I mean, I don't struggle with it when it comes to seeing stuff. I struggle with it as far as I don't just go out of my way to search them. They just don't feel like sense when they hit my hand. Paula, welcome. We're trying our hands at our 2024 P-roll. So far, nothing, but that doesn't surprise me because I've really only seen one legitimate DDO or DDR so far, and it was a DDR. Yeah, I enjoy them a little bit. I actually enjoy them in pocket change more than searching solid date rolls of them. And the reason for that is you have a tendency to find a little bit more within your pocket change because they're mixed up a little bit better. I mean, it's very common to search a roll of Shield Sense and find nothing. Actually, it's very common to search any date roll and find nothing. But it seems like especially Shield Sense. They do, and I have a feeling that I tried messing with my scope light to make it look like there was doubling. And I have a feeling it's not entirely set back up properly. But they do have a finish to where they're affecting the camera. And that goes back to what I said yesterday about having more than one way to search a coin. That you have a microscope and you see what looks to be, see if I can get it to do it. I can't do it. I thought I had it on one, on doubling on the date. The first thing you should do is go to a secondary method of magnification like a loop or a magnifier and double check it with that. And turn it and spin it. Because most of the doubled dies, like on eBay or anything that I see, are just distortion from lighting. I guess I don't even know if that's the right word. The reverse on some of these dies are, yes, there is die wear on the reverse on some of these coins that are pretty significant to the point of it's even getting a little flat. I have seen a lot of die cracks. See, like right there. See, that at first, when I first saw that, it made me think of the 2022D double die reverse. But there is no doubling, and I've actually looked at two of them now with the loop, and there is no doubling on them. And this is the same die because you see those scratches right off the side of the shield. I mean, because those letters are really thick. You know, I don't think that would be totally uncommon, Paula. I think that throughout the years, many years, they just used dies until they were gone. Unless there was like a design change. But even then, I think there's 88s and 89s that have improper reverses. Of course, then you got the wide AMs and close AMs. But I wouldn't mind doing like a little broadcast and going over what people may need to search for coins. The tools of the trade per se. I have been reading a lot of posts on social media, on YouTube, on the comments section, on some people's YouTubes. And I'm really disappointed in humanity. That it's so easy to bully instead of taking criticism or advice. But I've really been quite shocked. And I actually am happy because I used to do a lot of moderating on Facebook. Haven't in the last couple years. But I don't know how you do it, Paula. I really don't. I would probably snap. And I consider myself a very mild-mannered person. I don't get angry real fast, but I would probably tell somebody what was up. You do, but you know what? You dish it out pretty tastefully, too. Yeah, that brings me back to the Mr. Tough Guy post. But I'm really unsure if there's a, I think about it a lot, if there's an actual way to make these people understand what's going on. You can say, the minting process, and ultimately, that is pretty self-explanatory when you start watching videos over and over and over again of how they make coins and how they make dies and how they do this and how they do that, how things happen. It does get easier the more you do stuff like that. But I would argue that these people, and it's just random people, I have nobody specific, they would say that those aren't real videos of the mint. That they would say it was a conspiracy. That coins aren't minted like that. Absolutely, Eric. And you can think you understand it 100%, and then there's things that you find out over the years. They changed the way they do things. That's what I was saying in yesterday's videos. I think that they have changed their procedure. And it might not even be procedure. It might be the actual person who is making the dies. Maybe the same guy made dies for 30 years. And now they got a new guy. And he's just not doing it the same way. That's it, Paula. There is a lot of people that they're on a treasure hunt. And you know what? I think that's great. But real treasure hunters mostly don't find treasure. You need to be passionate about the hunt and realize, like even to this day, I'm just going to I'll probably round it up, 100 emails a week about 1982D cents saying that somebody has one. And they never do. And there is more. They have found one. Now, there was one found, I think 2 found in Illinois in the last 2 years, from what I understand. So that would make the total to maybe 4 total. So, if you're looking for that coin, the chances of you ever finding it are outrageously minimal. Now, when you do search coins, you will find a lot of coins that are worth $5, $10. When you start finding $25, $30, $40, $50, $60, $70 coins, to me, those are jackpots. I think people are trying too hard to get the $75,000, $100,000 coin. The chances, I mean, it happens. You see it happen all the time, but the chances of it happening are slim, especially in pocket change. That's right, Paula. They don't want to take the time to learn what they're hunting for. I mean, there's another one, 69S. I got a double die, and it's machine doubling. And there are some super extreme cases of machine doubling in 69 and 70S. And, they have machine doubling every year, but why was it so prevalent that year? Probably because there was procedural changes. They changed something in the way they did things, or somebody new took over and didn't tighten the dies tight enough, something. I mean, we can only speculate because there's no real information on who and what did it. Not just the collective IQ, and it's not the IQ in general, it's people's common sense. Our society went from if you're on time, you're late. Now you see people, they're constantly complaining that people shouldn't be on the road except to drive to work. That's my local city Facebook page. They're like, you're making me late for work. If you're that close to being late for work, you should leave a half hour earlier. I mean, I realize that, not everybody's got all the time in the world, but that's your living. You need to, that's it, Paula, they do. But yeah, now they blame other drivers for them being late for work instead of saying, well, God, maybe I just left 5 minutes too late. Nobody can ever be at fault it's always somebody else's fault. Like walking up the street. God, I can't tell you how many times walking up the street I have tripped and fallen. And just got up, brushed my pride off, went home, washed my knee. Let me look at this. And that's true too, Paula. I used to be very involved in tropical fish. And that was the biggest problem within the tropical fish community. Was nobody wanted to tell the young people how to do it because they felt that they had paid their dues and that the other people should learn and pay their dues the same way. Which to me is a bunch of malarkey. You're supposed to share what you learn with other people. And not that they can't find a better way or an easier way or a shortcut to do it, because they can. We got a great community, Dan. There is a ton of people that are willing to help you. without question. But then there's a ton of people that want your help that aren't willing to accept your answer because they want to hear what they think. And that goes back to the I'm late for work by 5 minutes, so you shouldn't be on the road, so traffic's lighter. I mean, there's literally people that think that way. In the coin community, there is too. And a lot of this stuff, you look at Facebook, we'll just use Facebook as an example, and I'm sure it's on YouTube too. A new coin group starts, and all of a sudden they have 10,000 members. And you start looking at the names of the posts, and it's names like Gent Lee and Bob Marley and all these names. It's just too good to be true that all these random, great sounding names are posting these coins, and they all start out with, "Hey, I want to introduce myself, and this is a picture that I took." It's all bots, in my opinion. That they are, JM. They think they're going to get rich off of it, and you can indirectly blame like Etsy and stuff, because that was where a lot of this stuff started to go crazy. It was like, there's an Etsy and there's another Poshmark, and then there's another one. People were selling floating roofs for $1,000, and it's just like a floating roof. While it's interesting, and I would not hold it against anybody to keep a couple of them in their collection, it is something that within a 69D or S, 70 PD and S roll, you find lots of them. They're not terribly rare. That's right, Crispy. Well, that we were talking about this yesterday. I find something like I find I open a roll, and I find, let's say, 6 coins that I can legitimately sell for $20 a piece, or let's say $50 a piece. I know the way my mind works. I would sell. If I was to sell them, I would sell 4 of them, and I would buy $200 worth of more coins to try to parlay it. And then it would just go into the pile. I'm fortunate in the fact that I have been accumulating rolls, bank rolls, and rolls of pennies for almost 30 years now. And so I got a lot of pennies for close to the price that they were. But a lot of these people, they're just looking through their pocket change, and then they find an 82D that's all banged up. And then the argument starts. See, we found this die's just over, and there's lots of coins from this die pair in the roll. And it always ends the same way. And that's, I think you're wrong and you don't know what you're talking about. And I don't ever reply to it. I just leave it at that, usually. eBay's, you got to watch yourself on eBay. There is a lot of good stuff on eBay. And I have bought from eBay still. But there is a lot of stuff that is sketchy on eBay. Back when I first started collecting, there were a lot of people. You could buy the Fed Reserve tubes from Cleveland, Kansas City, and Minneapolis at auctions. Like, they weren't using them anymore, so it was like bulk auctions. You could buy them by the box. And they were just like leftovers. Matter of fact, you could buy them on eBay 25 years ago by the box. But you always seem to be able to, at least back then, you could figure out which ones were fake because they weren't real good at crimping the tubes properly. and there wasn't all these newfangled little devices. I know that back when I got into it, I had a friend, I don't think he's with us anymore, that could wrap a tube with the end of a Bic pen. One of those flat blue, kind of curved Bic pen caps. And you couldn't tell. He was really good. Farm Dog, welcome. And they can even do it. Some people can even rewrap bat door rolls. It's not impossible. But you usually can tell. I got pretty good at telling because they would be super tight at one end and kind of loose at the other. But like I say, he was a master at it. Fortunately, he was a coin dealer and he was actually honest. He was doing it more as an informational thing than he was, just to show that it could be done. There's some light right there. Right on there. That is not doubling. And there is people out there that would argue that this right here is doubling. That is not doubling. I've been trying. I tried for over an hour to get my lighting to make that reflection. And see, I'm looking at it with my magnifier, and it is normal. That's it. But the light of the reflection of the light enhances that little line. And it can even generate a reflection that almost looks like a serif. Especially if you get it right, like right in the bottom of the twos and right here in the 4. And then you probably could get it up here on the 4 also. There can be thickening. Class 6 was always thickening of the devices. But yes. But there's too many people almost all the posts, they say, I want to show you my doubled die. And that's what they're showing. Or they're not showing a doubled die at all, or they're showing machine doubling. See, I can't get it to do it on this one. I guess that's what 5 years of trying to get your light to work better and better all the time does. That's right. Isosceles triangles. God, I have not heard that term in a while. Made me feel young again. I don't think I've used... Actually, I used to use that at work once in a while. The light reflects at the slope, or at the angle. That's right. And it is especially... the people that get that lighting that makes it look like it's doubled, it almost always is on endoscope type magnifiers. because they come with their own lighting, so the lighting is already messed up. Says he has a 58 DDO. Well, I doubt it. You doubt it. Everybody doubts it because a lot of people half doubt that the two that are out there are even kind of legitimate. The only reason they're legitimate is because the Secret Service says they're legitimate. That's right, Paula. That's why I was trying to duplicate it so I could take pictures. And one of these days, when we get doing one of these Shooting the Breeze broadcasts, whether it's on Frosty's channel or here or whatever, we can do a thing. And what you need to... Oh, here's another anomaly. We've got a little speck of just grime that somebody would probably argue that's a notch. And there is machine doubling in 58. I have seen 58 with significant machine doubling on it, Dan. Yeah, I was fortunate, not the last fun show, but the fun show before the last. Heritage was selling, I think the gentleman's name was Stuart somebody, his collection. And they were selling one of them, and I actually got to see one of them in person. They're very impressive. And but even there, people were saying that they had a hard time believing that only two examples exist, and that both of them were discovered by the same person. So, and now you look at the census, and I think the census says there's 3 of them, but I do believe that one of them has just been regraded, and they didn't take it off the census. Stuart Blay, that might have been it. Was Stuart was his first name, but the auction would have been January of 2022. They had some great hard to get variety and error coins in that auction, because he had like the biggest, best collection of everything. He was like the number one in all the registry sets, and he spent a lot of money on his stuff. But there was amazing stuff. And they had like a little display. It had about 5 coins in the fun show, but then they had a little display that you could go look at. That was the best show for hunting Lincoln cent varieties that I had ever gone to. I ended up finding BU 44 D over S OMM 1 and 2 at that show. There were a lot because he had a lot of Lincoln cents, and they were selling Lincoln cents. That's not sitting right. Come on. That's true, Brian. I mean, they're both MS coins. I think it was just an inside job. The guy made a die, made a bunch of coins, and that was it. there's a great story out there somewhere. I'll have to see if I can find it about the 95 doubled dies. One of the guys for the Denver Mint said that they were instructed to make a doubled die. And they made it, but he didn't think it was going to go into production or something like that. And he half thought that the big double die from both mints was done on purpose. Yeah, Chuck. That's definitely in Chuck's storybook about the 50. He questions the authenticity of it. And wasn't there something that the mule, the 59, was owned by the same person and discovered by the same person? I kind of heard that through some channel. I don't even remember who I heard it from. But they had said that the same person was the original. And I believe there's only one of those. Well, nowadays it would probably be a very, very difficult task to manufacture something. I mean, it would be easy probably to bring like a foreign planchet or a used penny or something and run it through the press again. That might be possible to do. But then again, it might not, because the last time I watched a video from the Mint with Mint employees, they were walking through metal detectors and weren't even allowed to bring anything onto the floor. Basically, they were wearing special uniforms and shoes and everything that were supplied to them. Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. I think that there's some people that think he was the one that did the 58s also. And that the person that ended up coming to the surface was like the same guy. It's really hard to say. And we'll never know. Well, didn't the Secret Service say that the 59 Mule is genuine also? Even though there's kind of proof to the contrary? Oh, wait, the 59D is the one that the Secret Service says yes, but the third-party grading services still won't take it. That's right. That's right. And here's another thing too. You see people, they will search 55p over and over and over again. You don't hear of a lot of people hoarding 58p rolls to try to find a 58p double die. Now, I'm sure when they look through those rolls, they keep their eye open for it. But I don't think I have ever heard anybody say, I hope I hit the big one on this 58p roll. Whereas you used to hear it all the time on 55p bankrupt rolls. People used to say, oh man, my chances of double die, and everybody would go, nah, not really. We can get it. We're smart people. Yeah, I'm going to have to see if I can find out who was the person that submitted all those coins. Something tells me it was the same person. Well, I think it does, just because it was minted at the facility by a mint employee with mint equipment. Now, the part that comes into question is it uh, it's not, what's the word I'm looking for? Um, See, I think that's the reasoning with the 58. I think that they all along thought it was kind of an inside job, but it was done by a mint employee with mint equipment, so it actually is a mint error or a mint variety. Um, Now that it never went into production or something like that, then you're getting into semantics that, I mean, I guess in genetics you would be talking about sports and hybrids. You know, there are some people that through selective breeding, you create what is called a sport. And then other people say, well, that's a hybrid, so it doesn't count. Well, technically it's not a hybrid. You're just line breeding it to get specific traits out of it. Angelfish are a good indicator of that. A real wild angelfish is silver and black, and they make angelfish in all sorts of colors. Intentional errors, yeah, but we're talking about varieties too. And I do agree, like the double denomination, like I think I saw it was a 1964 dime struck by a 68-cent die, and it was actually graded and legitimized that it was possible that that could happen. Well, it is possible, but the chances of it actually happening without help are probably really slim. I mean, that's like a planchet sitting for 4 years in a hopper and then falling out of a crack. I don't buy that they don't disassemble those machines completely every year. They have to. Varieties can be intentional. All right. So, you know, I don't know. But you do see a lot of like a multi-denomination, like there was another one. Something struck on a Canadian planchet or something like that I saw. There's no reason for a Canadian cent to be in the U.S. Mint, but yet they considered it legitimate. It had to be created at the U.S. Mint, but it had to be basically somebody dumping something into an empty hopper and striking a coin with it. And that, I am trying to learn about error coins, and I got a decent grasp on it. I actually know they're error coins. I just can't always tell you how it happened. But it was never something I was interested in. And now, I would say I'm interested in the real heavy ones. But like not interested enough to like buy them or anything like that. I would have to find them. Multiple 89D copper cents out there. I think that there's 83, and I think there's even an 84, but I don't know. You know, wait, there is an 89, and I think it is struck on a foreign planchet that the mint was actually using at that time. I think you are correct, Brian. I'll have to look that one up. I'm just speculating, but my little spider senses told me that there is 89D copper cent. But that would be another one that would probably be a total unicorn. Is that what was I right, Paula, about it being on a foreign planchet? And probably intentional. All right. See, the one that would interest me would be like Sacagaweas or Washington quarters struck on the opposite planchet, because they would have a reason to actually be there and be around. And I know that actually I think there's something to do with the quarter in the dollar. Some were struck. I'm not sure what direction it was. Was it a quarter struck on a golden planchet, or was it a Sacagawea struck on a clad planchet? So nothing in this roll. So still not a lot of 2024 scent varieties. Like I said, I did see a picture of what I consider an actual double dye for 2024. And it was really thick on LB and JFM. So I know there's one out there for sure. Just not in this roll. If we do another 2024 roll, I will search a roll before I do it, like I did with the 2021s when I did that. I knew there was varieties in it. But every year I like to do a roll from that year. I do know that there is a significant amount, matter of fact, I'll check right now, a significant amount of nickel double dyes again already. And they're pretty good ones, just like last year's. Let's see. Double window, double door. Actually, there's only... he's actually delisted a bunch of them. There was about 10, and now he's got a double working hub reverse number 1, which is seen on the steps. So that's good. I wonder if he changed the 2023. But it looks like the same kind of doubling on the tops of Monticello in the middle of the design. So it actually looks like Class 8 doubling, where some of them last year were insane. All right, he does have master dyes now for 2023, but he still has 129 double dyes listed for last year, which is nuts. The initials, yeah, I looked for the shield wing one, but that's what I've been doing. It's been the double dye I saw was on the designer initials, and it was significantly fat. It wasn't one of the ones that was where you're like, oh, could this be? But even I have found very few. That's been the big thing on the Denver Mint, is finding them right across here. There's a lot of people finding them. Right. Yeah. I agree, Paula. That's why I hate the term discovery coin. The term discovery coin, I was telling that yesterday. I know people that have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of tubes put away, of coins that they say aren't listed or whatever, and they just don't want to bear the expense or care enough because they're minor to see the process through. Chances are most of these varieties, even though new ones we're finding, like yesterday, we found a minor doubled die on a 1944S, and it's minor, but there's in all three, even Variety Vista lists one similar to this. Where are they now? Come on. Oh, there they are. I think it was this coin right here. It is definitely there. I will put it up there. I was working on this. All right here. You see the doubling going down the back of the 4. You see the doubling right here. You see the doubling right here, and you see the doubling in here. Also, you see it right here. This is a known working hub double on the second 4. But then you see it also on the inside of the 9. We have one listed that if I didn't know better through overlays and everything, it is almost identical. The mint mark is literally, the mint mark is on the other one listed is like right over here. It is so close. And then same, the one that's on Variety Vista is just this way a little bit. But this is a nice doubled die. And then it's got a doubled eye too. But see, like if you just looked at the doubled eye alone, I wouldn't list that. This has got a little machine doubling on it right there, but the others don't. That's kind of almost too minor. There was also doubling that I picked up around the B and the E, but I might not be able to get it with this light. Nope, you can kind of see the bottom of the E and the bottom of the B, but I can't do it with this light the way it's set up. So anyways, I want to thank everybody for joining. Great discussion. Kind of get my passion going for this stuff. One of these days we're going to have a what you need in your toolbox to search coins and find out what to do it, to at least point you in the right direction to hopefully do it the correct way. I will be back, I think it is tomorrow, for this roll right here, a Fed Reserve Bank of San Francisco roll, 58D. It should be around the same time, around 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Hope to see everybody there. Smash that like button on the way out. And we'll see everybody tomorrow. See you soon. Bye.